Hi.
Okay. We'll get started. Iga, welcome back to Rome. How are you
Thank
feeling ahead of the tournament start?
Good. I had a couple of days of solid practice, so feel good.
Take questions.
Hey, Iga. This year you've reached the quarterfinal or better of every tournament. I think you're the only player to do that at like 1,000th level. Obviously, I know your standards are very high and you want to be winning, most of them. Are you able to reflect on kind of your consistency and just the high general level you have, even when things aren't going perfectly?
Yeah, for sure. I'm happy with the consistency. This is something that I always wanted, and there's no tournament where, I go and I'm like, not prepared. Obviously, there have been some where I lost, matches in quarters or semis, but I feel like still it's a good result. On court, I might be harsh on myself, but later on when I reflect and when I have time to just, see this first part of the season from a different perspective, I'm for sure proud of the consistency and still I feel like I'm the most kind of consistent as I was previous years, but for sure I want to also win some tournaments, and that's also the goal.
Hello, Iga. Does your training or mental preparation vary in any way for this clay court season, given that, as you say, you're winning a lot of matches, but it's different to some other years where you pretty much won every match you played?
Well, honestly, the truth is that every year the challenge is a little bit different, so you always have to also adjust to that. It's not like this process of mental training is. I mean, the same with tennis. 1 month you don't feel good with your forehand, the other one with your backhand. So it's not like it's always you can plan it straight away, and this process is going to look like that. This process is going to look a little bit different. You always need to just kind of follow with how you feel, and I would say it's different because the challenges are different. In 2023, I remember I had a lot of like anxiety on first part of the season. In 2024, I was kind of only looking at the Olympics, so the tournaments before, like I was just playing them, but Olympics were always in the back of my head. This year, I feel like I am struggling a bit more with my perfectionism, so I want to for sure focus on like being disciplined on the court and making right choices, not the choices that sometimes pop out in my head, but being like really solid and yeah, like I think I can do that. So this is my main focus now.
Hi, Iga. As you reflect on sort of as you did reflect on the end of Madrid, was that just a bad day on the court for you, or is that the buildup of the personal stuff? I'm sorry about your grandfather. And, what was sort of going on there, and how are you able to sort of move on? And does it make you think at all sort of about the rest of the season and what you might need in order to last, both mentally and physically?
I think on this match, it was a mix. I also played like three set matches. I didn't have like a proper rest, after Stuttgart. So during the tournament in Madrid, I felt like every day basically that I just really want, a normal day off, without any traveling or without, having some obligations, and yeah, without this personal stuff. So for sure, I feel like after Madrid, I could reset a little bit better than after Stuttgart, and the match with Coco for sure wasn't good, and I had trouble like focusing. I wasn't moving well, so I think everything kind of built up at one moment. That's why the score was like that. But it's just like one day. You can't judge like everything by it, and I'm continuing the work that I've been doing, and I trust the process, so we'll see on the next one.
There you go. Now you've been working with Wim Fissette for half a year. What do you feel is his greatest contribution to your game?
Well, I feel like I worked on some technical stuff on my serve and my forehand. I know that I haven't been always able to implement that on the match court, which is not perfect, but this is, tennis. We don't have 3 months to change some technical thing and then your body just remembers it, and it would be much easier if we had a system like that. But my preseason was short, so I'm kind of catching up in between tournaments to improve that technical things. And yeah, I feel like some things have been better because of Wim, like my serve. But I feel like I also, wasn't so good at implementing it all the time. Sometimes I changed the way I play in a way I shouldn't have done, and it's completely kind of on me. Sometimes I make, a little bit wrong decisions. I think it's because of this, me wanting to, I don't know, play faster or finish the rally faster instead of being solid and building it. So that's why I was talking at the beginning about the discipline and yeah, I think, it's all pretty connected. But I'm happy with the work that I'm doing with Wim, so I'll just continue, and I'll also try to be more disciplined and make sometimes better choices on court.
Hi, Iga. I'd like to ask you a question about sleep. I know this is something that is very difficult for tennis players with jet lag and the different times of matches during a tournament. Are there any techniques that you use to optimize sleep, and have you ever consulted any sleep experts as you might do for diet or physical things?
No, I haven't consulted. I didn't feel the need to yet. I also have a doctor that is kind of taking care of me overall. So even though he's not a sleep expert, he knows how to manage things like that. So I have a good team that is taking care of me. But I would say it's not that bad for people who are from Europe. I would say it's a little bit easier. We go to Australia. Obviously, the jet lag is pretty big there, but you have time to adjust to it. Then we come back and we come back to this, going from from east to west. So it's a bit easier. Coming back in March or in April from States to Europe is tricky, but also it's only the training period, But I would say the going to China is the most difficult part. But it's only, in October, so I kind of don't think about that. And this is the only part of the season where the sleep can be a little bit on and off for me. But I have my routines. I know how to deal with that. Everybody knows that I'm taking melatonin, so yeah.
Hi, Iga. I'm not sure if it's correct, but I read that you might, or are you considering to skip Wimbledon maybe, or the grass season?
Who said that?
I just read that on social media, so I wanted to
Shouldn't
clarify if
believe-
it's...
Shouldn't believe this stuff.
Okay, so it's off the charts in
Yes.
this case, okay. Because I already saw a comment of Brad Gilbert, slightly criticizing
Well,
that, but...
during past few days, I saw million comments that were not true, so...
Okay, so how do you handle if you see comments like this, which are not true in this case?
I don't get it, There are so many theories right now, I would say especially in Polish media about me that are not true, that I think, just... I don't know. You guys like to make some articles that will attract, people, and I get it. It's part of the job. But yeah, for sure, I'm not gonna skip Wimbledon. I really want to learn how to play on grass better, and every year is another opportunity. So I will play Wimbledon for sure, unless I get injured.
Just down the road tomorrow at the Vatican, they're going to begin the process of electing a new pope.
Oh.
I'm wondering if is it something you're following? Are you curious about what's going on since you're here in Rome? Would you even think about going to St. Peter's Square to see if you see the white smoke?
I would love to do that. I think it's gonna be super crowded. I think the whole Rome is gonna be following. I would love to do it just to have the experience, but I'll see, logistically how it's gonna look like. Also, we don't know when it's gonna happen, so right? It might be a couple months, so we'll see.
You said earlier that you've been struggling with your perfectionism you've been struggling with your perfectionism in a way. Just curious about that. Just how do you, obviously that's a big part of your success, right? So how do you take the best out of it without letting it, I guess, overwhelm you in a way?
Yeah, like I have love and hate relationship with my perfectionism. Yeah, like coming on these clay court tournaments, I just kind of try to reflect on how I see my game and how I also saw, previous seasons. And the thing is that I only remember the good stuff, from last year's because I was winning titles and everything. So my head kind of just remembers the good stuff. And sometimes, I'm on court and I feel like, oh, I'm gonna play this, loopy forehand there, my, great backhand there, and I'm making decisions that are not, really good at the moment because I just remember how it felt, previous tournaments or previous years, and I kind of assume it's gonna go in. Then I make mistakes, and it's not the same, and I'm confused, So yeah, I mean, this is, as I said, like that's why every tournament and every year is different. There's no reason to compare because we are like at different places in our lives as well. So that's why I'm happy that I have my team around me to also help me, to manage this stuff. And without them, for sure, it wouldn't be so easy. But still, I feel like with the way sometimes I've been, I've been playing, I feel like I'm doing good results and I'm close to doing a little bit more. I just need to just push a little bit more and not let my thoughts, go around like this.
So is it important for you to also remember the difficult moments?
Yeah. I mean, because I tend to just remember the good ones, and also it's good to remember that it wasn't so perfect last year, so I don't compare. So I don't compare all the time, Yeah, because when you just go out on court and you constantly hope that you're gonna play better than what you actually maybe can that day, you're gonna be disappointed anyway, So so I'm working on that, and we'll see how it's gonna end.